Welcome back. The judiciary took the front burner on the war on corruption for this administration when operatives of the DSS stormed homes and arrested 7 judges in an unprecedented arrest that has drawn up reactions on the credibility of judges. Mr. Sage blames senior lawyers on this. So we ask, who is the culprit that has brought disrepute to the judicial arm of government? Emeka Ochebunem, an anti-corruption lawyer, joins me on State of the Nation to discuss the DSS arrest of the judges. Many thanks indeed for coming on the show. What makes this arrest such a big issue?
Thank you for having me, Gimba. This arrest is a big issue because it has brought the judiciary to the front burner. The issues about corruption in the judiciary, the procedure in investigating, arresting a judge, and then what the DSS to do, whether they have the powers also to investigate judges, or who has the responsibility to handle issues of corruption in the judiciary. That is why it makes it important. And most importantly is the issue that judiciary is the last hope of everybody in this nation. When the legislature and the executive quarrel, when there is problem on how to resolve issues before states and governments, it is the judiciary that decides the fate of everybody. So if judiciary is compromised, then the whole country is in a deep problem. That is why it's very important, and that's why that is the issue is what everybody should feel concerned about.
Let's look at this particular case of the arrest. Do you think that the image of the judiciary is under threat, or is the arrest of the 7 judges a cleansing of the judiciary?
Ordinarily, if it was done properly, it would have been a cleansing. But the way it is done, it has indicted the image of the entire judiciary. Because the arrest of all the judges in the different parts of the country was done in one day. That makes it a very serious and controversial arrest. That is why the image of the judiciary is at stake. Now think of it. If every judge or majority of the judges have been branded corrupt, who will feel comfortable and confident to bring his case before the judge believing he's going to get justice? That is it. So the procedure and the way it was carried out has brought a big indictment on the entire action.
Now, some have argued that it is what they say is not really possible to have an incorruptible judge. Do you agree with that statement?
I do not think so. If you know you are going to be corrupt, then don't accept the position of being a judge.
Then what kind of punishment should be given to a judge?
Nobody is forced to be a judge. Anybody that accepts the appointment of judgeship knows the lifestyle, knows what is expected of him, and knows it requires a very high moral standard to be a judge. So if you are not ready to live at that level of morality and discipline, rule of law, then don't accept the appointment. I do not think it is impossible to be an incorrupt judge. We have appeared before judges that are incorrupt. We have seen a lot of them. We have them every part of this country. There are judges that when you read their judgment, you know that this judgment is proper and is straight to the point. Those people are human beings too. So I do not think it is impossible to have an incorrupt judiciary. The only thing we need is to set the rules and make sure everybody plays by the rules.
What kind of punishment should be given to a judge found guilty of corruption?
Well, the books are there. If a judge is found guilty of corruption, the judge will first of all be stripped of his position as a judge. Then he will be handed over for prosecution. Because corruption in the judiciary is a very serious matter. If people don't have confidence in the judiciary, that is the foundation of democracy. That is the foundation of the rule of law. That is the foundation of the nation. So if somebody comes to spoil the judiciary with corruption, that person should be properly dealt with. The same punishment available for every other citizen of Nigeria should be available to the person. That is important. But that must have been when you have been removed from your position as a judge or as a magistrate, or whatever position you handle in the judiciary, then you face the music and face the consequences.
Let's shift our focus a little bit to the statement made by the wife of the president, Aisha Buhari, in a BBC interview, where she said that she may not back him at the next elections unless he shakes up his government. She also suggested that the government had been hijacked by only a few people, in her words, who were behind the presidential appointments. She said that the president did not know most of the officials he had appointed. And in response, the president, who is on an official visit to Germany, said that I don't know which party my wife belongs to, but she belongs to my kitchen and my living room and the other room. Does the statement of Aisha Buhari smacks of political loyalty?
I think the woman is expressing her frustration as the wife of the president. Maybe she's not getting sufficient attention from both the president and his political appointees. And I'm among the people that believe that there should be no demarcation, so to say, between the president and his wife, whether you like it or not. For us, the man and his wife are one, and she should be given some role to play to avoid such frustration. Because if you are finding it difficult to have access to your husband because of political appointees, it becomes difficult. I know that when the president was campaigning, the wife traveled around the country with him. So if there is time to rule, the woman should be a player in the same system. But the point is that the procedure for airing out her misgivings or disappointment is wrong. Because this is a matter between a husband and wife, so they should have found a more credible way to settle it. But coming to now make it a national issue, the most important thing I got from her statement is that the president may likely contest by 2019. That is the only political statement she has been able to pass across to us. The issue of hijacking the husband's government by the appointees is a natural thing. When you give people power, you don't say the bounds and the limits where they go. They have the tendency to overreach you. It is very clear in this nation that there is challenges with the APC. And those people who felt they played major role in bringing the president to power are not getting proper share of the government. But this is their political party issue, all of them to sit down and see how to solve it. It should not be an issue that should be made a national issue and that should cause issue in the problem in the nation. But I think it's wrong. Both the response of the wife and that of the president does not show that they're playing on the same tune. Because if the president said, my wife belongs to my kitchen, and the wife is telling us in 2016, unless my husband changes his government, I'm not going to support him in 2019, it doesn't also show that two of them are working together. We need the president to have that emotional balance and stability to run Nigeria properly. And that is why I think that right-thinking people, those who are close to them at that level, should find a way to resolve the matter.
Emeka Uchebudam, anti-corruption lawyer, we appreciate your time with us on the show. I want to thank you so much indeed for sharing your thoughts. Also to those of our viewers, of course, watching us, thank you indeed for your tweets. I am Gimba Umar, and I'll see you next time on Friday.